Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I've been living in Thailand for 7 months. I'm currently in Malaysia, so I've been in Malaysia for about 3 months, but I lived in Thailand for 7 months, and I'm here to give y'all all the tea. Y'all been asking me about so many different things, and I can't really keep up, so I'm like, let me just come on here and do a little Q&A based off the questions that I see on my page. So I'm going to start with, in no specific order, just my experience, just sharing a little bit of my experience, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, okay? So the number one question that I've been receiving is, how do they treat Black people? Number one, I feel like, and this just is a disclaimer, I feel like how people treat you is a reflection of you. You know, we all are mirrors of one another, number one. But that's not to say that my experience will be, you know, the same as yours. So from my experience, they treat us well, okay? So I've made many friends that are locals, and I haven't had any issues or dealings with racism, okay? So that's not even something that I want to spend a lot of time on, because that literally is never a part of my reality. And then my experience might not be your experience, so I recommend, if that is something that is really important to you, maybe you should try visiting first to just see what that experience would be like for you. I think that Asians, from my experience, again, is some of the nicest people that I have ever met. They were very welcoming, very inviting. They were very resourceful. They didn't hesitate on like sharing certain information with me and helping me out. My landlord and my neighbors were very, very friendly. I haven't had not one bad experience with the other cultures that are out here. The bad experience that I actually had was with my own kind, with my own race, with, you know, the Black people. Those are the ones that treated me a little bit uncomfortably. They were very judgmental towards me, and just, it wasn't a pleasant experience, if I could be honest, because that's one thing I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna be honest. And like I said, that's my experience. That might not be yours, but no, I haven't experienced any racism. I have all boys with me. I would never put them in a place where I feel like they would be a target, or, you know, any of those things. So I'm just answering the question. It's not even one that I even want to spend too much time on. So moving on, and like I said, no particular order, I want to talk about transportation. Some people were asking like, well, how are you getting around? So they have their version of Uber and Lyft called Grab. Okay, they also have an app called Boat. So Boat and Grab are like the top apps that you want to use if you are traveling. I personally use Grab because they have also not just transportation, but they also have food and, you know, like groceries, kind of like Instacart and DoorDash and things of that nature, all on one app, and it's called Grab. But I heard that both prices are just slightly cheaper, but I don't mind paying the price that I pay for Grab because I really like their services. So it's just up to you whether you want to use Grab or Boat. Just compare prices, but you basically just put in your location, just the same way that you use Lyft. You put in your location, they come and pick you up, and then they take you to your destination, and then you pay. So I have never spent more than $10 for a ride ever. And even if I'm going like an hour away, I have spent like $10. If it's not that far away, I have spent like $2-3 on a ride, maybe 4, like, you know, but I haven't spent a lot of money on rides. They do also give you the option of paying with your card or paying cash. You also could rent a motorbike for like $100 a month. So if you have your driver's license, usually you could just rent a motorbike and get around that way. They use motorbikes a lot in Thailand. Like, I see more motorbikes than I see cars. Next, we're gonna just briefly touch on the food. The food here is great, okay? One thing that I really appreciate about Thailand is they have lots of farmer markets. So like, you can see where your food is coming from. You know, it's coming from the farms. You can ride past and see farms. There's farms everywhere. There's farmers markets everywhere. The food is organic. Not all of the food, obviously, because that was a whole big old thing. Like, oh, everything is not organic. Like, duh. But yeah, the food is organic mostly. The grocery stores, everything is super fresh. I really appreciate the food here. I can tell the difference in my body from like how I eat in the States and how I eat here. I eat the same things here that I eat in the States. I'm not gaining weight. I'm actually maintaining. I flop between maintaining my weight and losing weight. I'm still eating the same thing, so that says a lot. I had someone ask a question about obesity. That's not something that I have seen while being out here. I don't think, obviously, that they would treat you any different, but I have not experienced like seeing a lot of obese people out here. The food is, like I said, very healthy. I don't feel sluggish after I eat. Maybe it depends on what you eat. I personally haven't felt sluggish after I eat. There are lots of night markets, like I said, and farmers markets where you can get your groceries, or if you just want to eat street food, you can eat street food. The street food is very, very cheap. We have went out and spent like $10 for the whole family, before, and so it just depends on where you go. But the food is very, very cheap. Okay, so you can get a full meal for like $2, $2 US, or $1 to $2, up to $5, whatever. But you can find like $10 can really stretch out here, okay, when it comes to food. I cook a lot. A lot of people come out here and they just order out because it's very convenient, and like I said, it's cheaper to just eat out as a family. However, I love to cook. That's the way that I nurture my family. So I personally will go to the grocery store or the markets to grab my groceries, and I will cook at home. Now, if you're going to cook at home, obviously it might be a bit more expensive with all of the ingredients that you need. I spend about $100 per week on groceries because I have a large family. I have 5 boys, and then it's me. And so I personally cook at home, and like I said, I spend about $100 per week on groceries. However, you can very well just eat out. I just prefer to cook at home, and then obviously we eating good over here, so I'm gonna spend what I need to spend on food. Even $100 though, I think is really, really good, versus like in the States, I would go to the grocery store and spend like $300 and I only got like 3 meals. I'm being dramatic, but I think that the food here is way more cheaper, way more healthier, much more fresh, and like I said, you can kind of see where your food is coming from. So it's just different when it comes to the food. So next, I guess we can talk about healthcare. A lot of people have been asking me about healthcare. Now, this is going to be very, very, very controversial. I know how y'all like to do. But I am a holistic healer. So I have been healing my family holistically for like 10 years. I am professionally a nurse, and then I later moved into like alternative healing. I have been doing this even when I was in the States. We don't take medicine. Like, my family don't take medicine. I make my own medicines. I make my own teas and tinctures and syrups and steams and whatever it is that, honestly though, we don't never really get sick. Like, especially my children. My children are hardly, I think like I can count on one hand, they've probably been sick twice out of their lives, and they're like, my oldest is like 14 and my youngest is 1. Like, they don't get sick often. And when they do, I know how to heal my family holistically. So what about emergencies? Because that's where everybody, what about emergencies? Obviously, if I have an emergency, I would go to the emergency center. Okay. And that has happened to me before. I don't take medicine. I haven't taken medicine in years. And then I got into a really bad car accident to where I had to take like medicine, all these different things. And so in those situations, obviously you do what you need to do. That is what I would consider an acute situation. It happened, and it's something that you need to take care of. So in that event, then yeah. Now, that's me though. Like I said, that's me. Healthcare is something that you have to do your own research on, because I don't have any answers for you in that department. I don't like to speak about things that I have not experienced. I'm only talking about things that I have experienced. So I have no information about healthcare. I don't have all the answers to everything. I'm only sharing my experience. I'm not on here trying to convince people to do what I do or move to where I am. I literally just shared my story, and it ended up going viral, and people had a lot of questions, so I'm just answering your questions. By all means, do what's best for you and your family, okay? This is a no judgment zone. Do what you gotta do. Now, I did have someone that I know visit the health center, and she paid out of pocket, and she said it was extremely cost efficient. Everything here is significantly cheaper, so just do your own research in that department. Moving on, this is something that I just want to throw in. When you are in Thailand, I recommend having cash, carrying cash on you, because they don't have the same banking systems that we have. They have their own systems, and so you can't really use your card in most places. You aren't able to use your card. It's not all places, but most places. And so it's really important to just have that cash with you. Now, if you do go to the ATM to pull off your cash, I recommend pulling off as much as you can in that one, time, so that you can avoid ATM fees, because those fees get a little costly. So you want to take out as much as you can. For me, I was able to take off my rent money in one transaction. So if you can, just take off as much as you can so that you can avoid those extra fees. Another big question that I keep receiving is the cost of living. How much is the cost of living? How much money do you need to come with in order to be comfortable? That is a question that I feel like really just depends, because we all are different. We all have different lifestyles. We all like different things, have different preferences. So that literally depends on you. So it just really depends on what you like to do, how you like to eat, your family size. I really cannot tell you how much you should save in order to come out here, but I can tell you how much things cost so that you can calculate things on your end and determine that for yourself. Okay, so rent, let's move on to rent is about, and that depends too. Like, honestly, rent depends as well on your family size and what kind of things do you like. Are you a minimalist or do you like luxury? So it just depends. For me, I like luxury. I like more modern. I'm in between. I'm not a minimalist. I can do like modern, or as long as it's updated and stuff like that. So me, I lived in a home that was 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it had a private pool, and the Wi-Fi was included. It had a garden space and all of those good things, and I only paid $850. So it just really depends. You can find housing in Thailand for cheaper than $850. You can find a house with 3 bedrooms for about $700, so it just depends. If it's just you or, a smaller family, you can find a house for like $300, dead ass. So it literally just depends. Houses range between, I feel like, $300 to $1,000 or more, depending on what it is that you're looking for. When I first came out here, I came out here with other people, and we put our resources together and we got a 6-bedroom home. And that 6-bedroom home only costed $1,100. And that was for 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And then it had a balcony and, like a huge 2-car garage area. So it literally just depends. Now, lifestyle, are you going to be going out often? I don't go out often. I barely go out. Like, I'm a homebody. I like to host in my home. So it just depends. If you're going to be going out every weekend, obviously, yeah, you're going to need more money. If you want to like experience all that Thailand has to offer at one time, you're going to need more money. Me, I pace myself because I know I'm going to be here a while. So I'm not in a rush to just go and do stuff, every day. I stay at home. I cook, and like, I like to host at home. Me having a pool, I invite people over. Let's get in the pool. Like, I like to host at home. I like to cook at home. So I don't spend a lot of money. Now, if you are a person that, wants to do more, obviously you're going to need more money. Food was ranging me about $100 a week. My rent was about $850, and then water and electricity. So water, I was paying like literally like maybe $10 a month on water, and then electricity is usually about $100 per month. Even when you have the air conditioning run all day long, it's still, I think, more cheaper than it is in the States. Okay, so yeah, my electricity bill ranged between $100 and $200, mostly $100. But like I said, just it depends on you. Are you turning things off when they're not in use? Are you, running the air all day long, or are you using fans, or, it just depends. They do have air conditioning in every room. I don't know if it's like a law out here or what, but they have air conditioning in every room, the living room and each room. I guess since we're on it, we might as well talk about weather. The weather is warm all year round. I was here during what we would consider the winter months, and it was warm. We didn't need a jacket. It never got cold. I was able to garden all year round. So the weather is really great. I know a lot of people have asked me about rainy season. I have not experienced like a lot of rain during rainy season. When it rains in Thailand, it's super weird. Like it doesn't drizzle and like gradually rain. It just starts. Like it just comes down and then it only rains for like 5 or 10 minutes and then it goes away and the sun is out. So even when you see rain on the forecast, it's okay because most likely it's just gonna be a quick pass through. Like it literally just passes through. The weather is not crazy. I haven't experienced any earthquakes. Like people were asking about earthquakes and mudslides and all these different things. I have not experienced it. I've only lived in Thailand for 7 months. I am currently in Malaysia, like I said, and I am going back. But in that 7 months that I was in Thailand, I did not experience any crazy weather. I was there from the end of October until May. Now to move on to the biggest topic, work. What do I do for work? Okay, so this is a pretty personal story, but initially when I came out to Thailand, I came out in a relationship. I was in a poly relationship, and so we put our resources together, we moved, and then we got a place. When I first came out to Thailand, I wasn't doing anything for work at that time because I had just recently had a car accident that I was recovering from. Okay, so I was doing things, but I wasn't making like a lot of money, I should say. What I do for work though, I am a hypnotherapist. This was prior to me even coming out this way. Like I said, I just had a major accident that kind of shut me down for a minute. But I am a hypnotherapist and I am an astrologer. Okay, so I do readings. And I do hypnotherapy. You can check out some of the videos on my page. And then I also do content creation. So I get paid on Instagram to make videos. I don't get paid that much. The truth about being an influencer, or whatever you want to call it. I don't call myself an influencer. I'm a content creator. But I don't know, it's interchangeable. But the truth is, just because you go viral does not mean that you make a lot of money. I have had videos that has gotten 3 million views. I have had videos that has gotten 2 million views. I have videos that go viral all the time. I don't make much from those videos going viral. That one video that I made that had 3 million views, I made $600 off of that one video, and that was with 3 million views. And that's kind of hard to get those many views and that much engagement, and then they only pay you like $600, which that is a lot, and I'm grateful. But what I see, what people be putting out, I just expected like maybe they were paying like thousands per video or something like that. But that isn't the case for me. If that is the case, let me know. Maybe I'm doing something incorrectly. But from my experience, going viral does not make you money. I think maybe it depends on what platform. Maybe YouTube pays out more. I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. I haven't met the criteria. I'm only monetized on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not monetized on Facebook because of my location. And so I think that it just depends. I think that influencers probably make money more so off of brand deals. And so those are like collaborations with certain brands. I think that's where the money is. I haven't really gotten off into that too much yet. I just want to be transparent that I don't make a lot of money, because people are like, what are you doing for work? You must have got paid from your accident. People tell me I have not gotten paid for my accident. I'm literally just out here winging it, which I know it might sound crazy to somebody else, but I just do what I can, and so far I've been thriving. I think that's the thing. When you step out on faith and you bet on yourself and you trust yourself, miracles happen every day. I'm not saying you do that. Like, I want you to secure something more secure for yourself. Obviously, I do everything that I'm passionate about. I teach on the side. Like, I have digital courses like ebooks and e-courses and things of that nature. And I just use the skills that I have. I've been an entrepreneur for 4 years. And so even when I was in the States, this is how I made my money. Now, as an entrepreneur, to be transparent, you have ups and downs. I have very hard days and I have very good days. Either way, I think that while living somewhere that is very cost efficient, where the quality of life is higher, I don't really have any fears around it, because like food is $1. Like, if I do have a bad day, we could just go out to the street market, catch a $2 ride, and eat for $5. Like, it's not hard to survive out here. or thrive, I should say, because I'm not in survival mode. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I've been an entrepreneur, like I said, for 4 years, but I've been fine. I just use the skills that I have. The work situation out here, though, you are not allowed to work in Thailand without a work permit. Now, in order to get a work permit, the job has to put in for you to get the work permit. Most people, most expats, they teach. If you have a bachelor's degree, it doesn't matter what the bachelor's degree is in. If you have a bachelor's degree, you can teach English in Thailand. There are many agencies. There are many places that you can go to directly to apply, and you can get a job working as a teacher. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, you kind of want to secure a remote job prior to coming out here. You don't want to be out here just winging it. You want to secure a remote job. There are lots of digital nomads out here. They actually just passed a digital nomad visa. So digital nomad is something that you want to consider if you want to relocate and work from anywhere in the world. I set my business up to where I'm doing multiple things. So if one is having a bad day, I have something else that might be doing well. So like I said, I do digital courses. That's passive income. I make money in my sleep with that. And then I also do readings. Like I said, astrology readings. I'm an astrologer. And so like every day I can just wake up and make some money. You know what I'm saying? I could work from anywhere in the world and do this. And then I also, I do content creation. Like I said, I don't make much with that yet, but it's something that I'm passionate about. But you do want to secure something prior to coming out here, because you won't be able to come out here and just work. You will need to find a job that is willing to hire you, which you may need to have some special skill that may be hard to find in order for them to even want to hire you. Otherwise, you need to have a remote job or own your own business. You also can come out here and you can start businesses. You will need to secure something, already have something going on, or have some type of plan and come with some savings, maybe like 3 months worth of savings, so that you can at least stay for 3 months and figure things out. Now, when I first did get out here, I wanted to scope the scene and, see what was going on. I did see that some people do work with their businesses without the proper setup, like having a business license or a work permit. However, I don't recommend doing that. Do that at your own risk. I came out here and I did start doing hair. There are lots of groups in Thailand that you can get into. And so like I was in a black girls group and people were looking for people to do hair. I'm like, hey, I do hair, and they'll just come, you do their hair and they pay you cash. Now, like I said, if you do stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're staying under the radar. Like this probably is not, I probably shouldn't have said that because that's not staying under the radar, but I'm just sharing my experience. Thailand officials don't bother you as long as you're not causing, chaos, and you're not causing any problems. They pretty much leave you alone. Thailand is mostly about their money. So if you're putting money into them, they don't really bother you much. It's like I said, you definitely don't want to do too much. I would stay pretty private, maybe with people that if you have some type of special skill. Like some people I know was teaching yoga, or I met a guy who he came out to Thailand. His story was so inspiring. He said he came out to Thailand with nothing, and he was doing room shares and stuff like that, and someone taught him how to DJ, and now he's one of the top DJs in Thailand, traveling around. They pay him to be a DJ. So it just depends on what special skills that you have. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the dating life, because everybody want to know, how is the dating out there? I don't ever hear about the dating. Well, I'm going to be very transparent about this. Now, I feel like when you are dating, you definitely have to have an open mind, because there are people from all walks of life. Like this is the most that I have been around so many different cultures. Like I said, there are Chinese here, there's Thai here, there's Americans, there's European, people from Australia. It's people from everywhere out here. So you have to keep an open mind, because everyone is different. That's number one. I don't really go out much, as I stated. So obviously in order to date, you have to come outside. I hardly go out like that, but when I do, yes, I meet people, but I just haven't met anyone that that I want to pursue, like, or continue anything further with. So I've been dating long distance. Okay, now that is very, very challenging to date long distance, especially if you guys aren't seeing each other as much. So it's just, like I said, you have to keep an open mind. So my dating life sucks. I am starting to feel a little bit lonely when it comes to like lack of intimacy and things of that nature. I don't feel alone. I can be alone. I just feel like, sometimes I miss that intimacy. I'm used to having a partner. So it does feel a bit different. I do feel in that instance, yeah, that is probably the only con that I have, because a lot of people are asking like, what are my pros and my cons? My con would be my dating life, and this is me though, because I'm very specific about who I date or whatever. So my dating life sucks. I can't say that would be the same for you. It's plenty of nice people out here. I just personally haven't found that spark. Since we are talking about dating, we might as well talk about socializing. There are so many socializing groups out on Facebook in Thailand. So like, you literally could search whatever your interest is and there's a group for it. There's a group for everything. So if you are a conscious individual, you could search conscious community Thailand or Chiang Mai or wherever you are, and it'll come up. Like I've been in groups for like homeschooling, because I'm a homeschooling mom. There was a group for that, and like, it's literally a group for everything. And so what you would do is just get in those groups that you're interested in and network. Or like I like to do, the best way is just to go outside. When you go outside, you're going to meet people. Like, it's inevitable. It's always something going on in Thailand. In events happening almost every day. It's always some type of holiday, some type of festival, some type of event going on in Thailand. So literally all you have to do is network. Okay, just go outside and you're going to meet people. Another common question is about the language. Do you speak the language and things of that nature? They do speak English out here. It might not be as fluent as we speak it, but it's enough to where you can understand. I have never had an issue with language. They teach the language in primary school, so a lot of people speak the language. If there is an event to where you might need to say something that they don't understand, you would just use Google Translate. And I have never really had to use that. I think if I do, it's probably for like a word or two, like, something that maybe isn't a part of their vocabulary or a part of like their lingo, like how we say things. But for the most part, they speak English. I haven't had any issues with language barriers or anything like that. There are private tutors that will teach you the language. And then they also have international schooling that you can go to, that you can learn the language. So while we're talking about international schooling, because I am here with my children. Now, I homeschool my children because the schooling is a bit expensive. For international schooling, I heard that they are some of the best schools. However, I have multiple children, so it gets pretty pricey for me. From what I've learned, it's about $1,000 per month per child. And so that is not a part of my budget right now. So when I am able to put them in international schooling, I will, because I think that is a beautiful opportunity. However, just like most things, before I even came out to Thailand, I was already homeschooling my children. We homeschool over here. If you don't have the time to homeschool your children, I recommend waiting till you have the money to invest into international schooling, because that's something that's important. You don't want to neglect your child's education. So if you don't have the patience or the confidence or the resources to homeschool, I think that you should save up in order to afford international schooling. Moving on to the visa process, this is something that's really, really important, the visa process. How are you able to stay so long in Thailand? Okay, so there are many visas that you can apply for. They have the educational visa where you can go to school long term. They have the DTB visa, which is the new visa that's for up to 5 years for a person that is a digital nomad. They have the work visa, obviously, if you are coming to teach in Thailand or you find you a job that needs your special skills. You can also, like I said, have a business. They have different visas. They have a lot of different visa options. If you have family, you can get a visa family that is from Thailand. You can get a visa. If you can get a retirement visa, if you are over the age, I think, of 50, it's many visa options. Now, for me, I came out to Thailand without a visa. Okay, so I did a lot of research and I saw people saying that they wanted to just explore for a while, so they came with no visa because certain countries are able to arrive on Thailand and get a visa on arrival. It's visa exempt, so visa on arrival. I came to Thailand with no visa. I got stamped for 30 days. Throughout that 30 days, I explored Thailand. I wanted to stay further. So I went and got an extension. So you stay for 30 days, you go get an extension, and you stay an additional 30 days. That's 60 days. After that 60 days, I would do what we call a visa run, which is like basically a border run. You would have to go outside of the border and then return to get another stamp. Once you return, you get stamped for another 30 days, and then you can extend again. So yeah, it's like every 60 days, basically, you would have to do a border run. Now, what I would do, you could do a land border 2 times out of the year. So I would stay 60 days, go do a land border. The land border is same day, so you would just get on a bus. It's a shared bus with other people, and you drive 3 hours to Laos, and then that's a friendship border, and they stamp you. You come back the same day, and they stamp you back in. And then you're back home, okay? And then you would just wait another 60 days and do the same thing. You can only do that twice per year. Now, after that, that's what, 60, so that's 120 days, okay? And then after that, you would have to fly out or whatever and then come back, do the same thing, stay for 60 days. So it's really up to you. If that is too much for you, then I recommend you getting a visa. That is what I did because I wasn't sure if I wanted to get an educational visa at that time. I didn't really want to be locked down to having to go to school and things of that nature. So I found a way around it. Okay, so they do. Now they changed the rules, so now you get 60 days on arrival. So now it's not even 30 days. Now when you arrive, you get stamped for 60 days, and then you can get an extension for another 30 days, and then you would have to leave and come back to do, a border run in order for you to come back and stay. You do that twice, and that's the whole year. If you do get a visa, you have to apply for the visa before you leave. You have to apply for the visa before you arrive in Thailand, okay? And then you would just go to the embassy site and put in for your visa. They have certain requirements that you have to show documentation of. I did not get a visa. I'm still out here with no visa now, and I've been out here for almost a year. So it's just up to you, do your own research and do what works for you. I cannot express that enough. Do what works for you. I went through the experience and it was fine. It's so easy to just, do a border run, and then it gives you more time to explore. So throughout that time when I'm doing a border run, I'm going to a place I actually want to visit, and I'm seeing what that place is about. You could stay, for a week or 2 or a day or, a few days, as long as you're leaving the border, like you're leaving Thailand outside of the country and then you're coming back. Obviously, that can only work for so long, and eventually you'll have to get a visa. And like I said, there's plenty of visa options, and they just unlocked one that is for 5 years. I did get a few questions about how is it being a nomad mom, being out here by myself with my children. Now, initially, when it all happened, when it all went down, and I was like, I'm going to just go my own way, I was terrified. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't feel too confident about this, but my spirit was just like, you got this, girl. So I stepped out on faith. Like, at the end of the day, the quality of life is better here. It's better opportunities to me, in my opinion, or whatever, to live an easier life. And so I decided to stay out this way versus returning to the States, because I had been out here and I love it here. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. I'd much rather figure it out here than figure it out in the States. Number one reason is cost of living. It's significantly cheaper. Like, I would be paying 3 times everything back in the States. And so it was a no-brainer for me. Like, yeah, I'm going to just stay out here. If I do meet any challenges, I'm not really looking at it in a negative way. It's more so, what have I learned from this? What is this trying to teach me? What do I need to know or take away from this? and then what is the solution, okay? And I take action. I don't sit around and feel sorry for myself. Then I get people who come onto my page and be like, why are you charging for information? You know, like I have to support my family. I'm a single mom living overseas, so you know it gets tough sometimes, but like I said, I much rather do it out here where the people are nicer, where I feel at home, when the food is great, the food is affordable, and you know everything, the cost of living is cheaper, the scenery is amazing, it's so many experiences, so many things to do, so many new people that I have met. I'm literally making friends all over the world. I think that this experience is priceless, and so even when I do feel some type of fear, I easily just release it and be like, you know what, you're doing a great job, and I just do the best that I can with what I have. And so far I have no regrets. Like I have such an inner peace that I cannot explain. Like I literally cannot explain it. I have such a deep inner peace that I'm at the end of the day following my passions. And you know, I check in with my kids periodically. How do you feel? Do you want to return to the States? Like, how you feeling? My kids asked me about 2 months into us coming out to Thailand, like, because initially I told them we would be here for a year just to see if there's somewhere that we want to move long term. 2 months into us being out here, they were like, you said we stand for a year? I was like, yeah. They were like, I'm like, is everything okay? You want to stay less? They were like, no, we want to stay longer. Can we stay longer than a year? So like, that is a good sign. The kids even love it. And I have teenage boys, but there are groups where you can socialize. They aren't missing anything for their socialization. People are asking, like, well, do they see people like them? Yes, there are people like them. I think that that is honestly a very ignorant question. Like, there's people all over the world, and we just have to get out of this fear mentality, because it's so much freedom on the other side of fear. And that's what we feel right now in this moment. We feel free, we feel liberated, we're chasing our passions, we're experiencing new things and meeting new people from all over the world. And I feel like this is priceless. And so although, you know, it has its challenges with, like I said, being out here alone, it's a challenge, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to support me, you can do that by liking, commenting, subscribing to my channel, sharing my videos. That would support me greatly. If you want to see more of my experiences, if you want me to share more, I really need you to subscribe, you know, because that will help me to keep putting out content, or at least to motivate me, because sometimes I don't be motivated, you know. So that will at least help me if you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can know the next time I put out a video. I hope that this video answered a lot of your questions. If you have any more questions, just leave a comment below, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Thank you for coming to watch this video, and I'll see you guys next time.